5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. OG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're finally here for this EU Grand Final between OG and Kingdra. It is, of course, Michael Phoenix, joined by the one and only Mr. John X Fire. And John, how the hell do you feel tonight?
I'm really excited, Mike. It's always good to see these best-of-5 finals being played out, and it's a pleasure to be able to cover it with you here tonight, Mike.
Pleasure for everyone, I'm sure. Thanks for... We don't hold any kind of biases. We just want games. That's all we want. 5 exciting games would be nice, but if we can't get that, hopefully the games that are here are pretty good. But nevertheless, I mean, these two teams, let's talk about their drafting style for a bit, John. OG love to draft many different things. They love to experiment. They're not one of those teams that have very small hero pools. They're all over the place, and as well as Kingdra, a relatively new sort of team that has come together. They're also playing fantastic. They were versing TFT in the losers bracket last night, or the night before actually, and they did take that 2-0 somewhat convincingly. And so I honestly can't tell you who's going to be able to pull off this game.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to pick out a favorite. A lot of people would flock to OG, mainly because, you know, they are the original gangsters, of course. They made a lot of major showings way back when the majors were first introduced. They had a fairly good run there, but Kingdra has been doing pretty well, going through the open qualifiers and jumping over that lower bracket just to reach these grand finals. It's a pretty big thing for them. They do have big names as well, a pretty experienced name, so neither side is really at a straight up advantage. I feel like Kingdra might be able to surprise us, but you know, OG has that tons of experience behind her back.
And that's the thing, right? Like for Kingdra, it's not only just trying to qualify for this major, which is a big deal in itself. Obviously, the prize pools are quite massive. But the fact that they could possibly beat OG in a grand final. I mean, you know, OG has had to go through quite a few qualifiers as of late. But for Kingdra to beat this kind of team, it's going to be a big deal. And it's going to really put their name in the spotlight. And it's going to be one of the, you know, if they do win, a lot of teams are probably going to be fearing them a bit. So we'll have to see what they can pull out. We do already have the draft going out as well. The Bounty Hunter is the first pick for Kingdra, which we do like specifically because of its scouting potential. The track, always a great comeback mechanic, as well as a snowball mechanic at that. But then you look at OG, and they've got S4's Brewmaster, as well as the Disruptor. And we know how damn powerful those two heroes are right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a very strong pick. I mean, the Brewmaster is banned out all the time for a reason in that first phase. And the Disruptor pickup as well, it's pretty safe from OG. These are two heroes they tend to run a lot nowadays, and it's, you know, it's fairly safe opening for them. The Brewmaster is very disruptive in that off lane. The Disruptor does bring you a lot for team fights. It's very disruptive, really good for ganking as well with that glimpse in the wall. But Kingdra opened up with a duo that we normally see banned out at some point. Usually when teams pick up the Bounty Hunter, at some point the Tinker gets banned out because they, you know, you usually don't first phase the Tinker, but Kingdra go for that combination straight up, the Bounty Hunter and Tinker, and it's really potent. Like once that Bounty Hunter hits level 6, it should be fairly easy for the Tinker to snowball from kills.
Yeah, it's one of those combos that's very problematic. It does really mean that you have to shut down Tinker so quickly, and even then, it's like you said, Bounty Hunter hits level 6, the tracks start coming out, rockets start flying, and because he has all this vision, it's like, what the hell do you do against them? That being said, though, at the same time, you do have a Brewmaster and a Disruptor, right? Like, against the Tinker, it's not like they're direct counters, but they're pretty darn good. Like, if S4 commits the split and is able to find out where this Tinker is, you're going to find him cycloning him up for pretty much the whole fight. And even then, with the Disruptor, if you do have enough vision, you will be able to just glimpse the Tinker back before he can TP out and maybe catch him out. So it's not the worst situation in the world for either team right now, but I do get a bit concerned with early Tinker picks because it does allow a lot of time for the opposing side to actually just find a really good counter against the Tinker.
Yeah, it's definitely very confident from Kingdra to go for that Tinker very early on. A lot of teams tend to just pick it up in that second phase and, opt to pick something else in the first. But the Bounty Hunter Tinker combo is pretty strong, and usually if you don't pick that Tinker in first phase, when you open up with a Bounty Hunter, it will be banned in the second phase. So it's something you have to deal with. I guess they really just prioritize that duo, and it's a very strong duo. It's just really susceptible to being countered, especially, it's a Tinker. There are many ways to deal with that hero, and I don't see any direct counters being banned out yet. The most typical being the Nyx, the Clockwork. They're still in the pool. The Beastmaster is banned out by OG themselves, so that vision option isn't there. But there are still a lot of ways to kind of shut down the Tinker in the laning phase.
I mean, to be fair though, they did just ban the Storm Spirit, which, I mean, that's a direct counter, right, to the Tinker, but, at the same time, it's already, like you said, there's so many others to go. There is a Night Stalker now. This is kind of like, it's one of those heroes where at nighttime he's going to give you so much vision. He has a nice little mini-stun in the Void, so this is another hero that's going to cause a lot of issues, as well as in the early game. You're going to find him rotating a lot, especially in that first night. And Kingdra is going to have to rotate quite a bit of their supports over pretty constantly, I think, to deal with this. There will be a nice Bane pickup coming out from the side of Kingdra, which I personally do like, especially considering the aggression that's going to be coming out of that Night Stalker. So now you do have somebody that can just sit in the mid lane with this Tinker and ensure he just can't die. But it doesn't, you're not 100% safe. It's still going to be rather aggressive mid lane, it looks like, from the side of OG against Kingdra.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that. I do like the Night Stalker pickup against Tinker. It's really potent, and it is probably one of the better supports against Tinker. You can find out where he's TPing and blinking to. You can silence him up for a very long time and take away his utility, and you can basically just make him useless in a team fight if you target him first. Kingdra picking up that Bane, it is a hero they favor. It's something they go back to a lot. I'm not sure if they pick it along with Bounty Hunter too often, but the Bane is definitely something they go back to, and it works out really well. It's a lot of single target disable. It can sustain well in lane quite nicely, and it hits pretty hard early on, so it's a very stable kind of support to go to. It's just, I feel like it's kind of lacking. Kingdra kind of opened up with their supports, and both of them are really potent. It's just that they lack a lot of AoE control. So the team fight isn't looking too great for Kingdra, but they do have a lot of burst damage coming through.
Yeah. Well, OG, they do pick up the Juggernaut as well. So there's your safe lane carry. I mean, you can kind of see why they chose it, even though Juggernaut is not that popular anymore. The spin is going to be very effective against all this burst and magic damage that's coming out of Kingdra. And after the spin, of course, you just go into the Omni before he can laser you. It's still, again, it's one of those heroes where it's kind of like, it's a good carry. It's not great anymore, though. It's not popular. It's not, there's a reason why they don't consider it tier 1, in the scene. So we'll see what they can do with it. I guess it's just one of those heroes you go to when you don't really have anything specific you're trying to run, right? Like, I mean, do you see any reason as to why they specifically would go the Jug, apart from what I've already mentioned?
No, I think you've covered it for the most part, Mike. As you mentioned, the Jug doesn't really care for the Tinker. The laser won't do as much to it, and it scales quite nicely. It has tapered off a bit, but Kingdra picking that Lone Druid is, I'd say that's really good against the Jug.
Not only is it really good against the Jug, John, but I mean, that's a no-tail hero, so picking it up and using it against him, I do like this. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do with it. I mean, you've already said the root is really good against the Jug. It's pretty good against the Brewmaster as well. So this Lone Druid it's like, well, who do you decide to go for? Are you going to try and gank the Tinker constantly, or are you going to go for the Lone Druid? Like, you've got to choose one. And, well, I don't know, OG, they're going to have to do something about this. We've seen No-Tail play it and do fantastic on it. And then the objective-based gaming that comes out of Lone Druid is insane. The damage to towers, it's pretty crazy. So OG, I mean, they've got to be a bit careful now because Kingdra is looking a lot stronger. They've got this crazy push in the Tinker and the Lone Druid, as well as the defense that comes out of the Tinker, assuming they have to drag this till the late game. And John, you've mentioned it many times, but that Lone Druid, later on can grab an Aghanim Scepter, and that way you can just start ratting with the bear, and there's just no way you can push in to the opposing side.
Yeah, definitely. The Kingdra picking up that LD really ties their draft nicely, I'd say. They definitely want to go for objectives, keep all the waves pushed out with Tinker, and have Lone Druid just take all the towers on the map and, start knocking those T3s very fast. So it ties it in quite well. I feel like they still definitely lack something in team fights, but it doesn't look like Kingdra's draft really wants to go for those team fights anyway. I mean, with a Bounty Hunter, it's more than likely they'll just go finding pickoffs when they can, and they could do it. I just feel like OG's lineup, with the way that they'd probably want to run it, it's going to be very hard to find the pickoffs they want. But at the same time, as long as they keep OG distracted, that Lone Druid can tear through those towers very fast.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what either team does, and I think these final picks will reveal a bit more information for us, especially for Kingdra. Because you did say, the team fight isn't really there yet. So perhaps with this last offlane pick, we might see something come out that could change that. There is a few offlane heroes left that could do the job that Kingdra needs. But they've got 30 seconds to go, so they will think about this and maybe have a little chat with each other, make sure everyone's across what they're doing. OG, I mean, they just need a mid by the looks of it, unless they plan to run the jug mid, but it's somewhat doubtful at this point. But Kingdra, 10 seconds left to go. I'm very intrigued to see what they finish here with.
They do lack an offlaner, problem most likely.
Oh, okay, this is going to be really painful. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it really ties up Kingdra's draft. They have the global ganking potential, really good push. It's still kind of lacking in team fights, but again, it's not like Kingdra's lineup is suited for that anyway. So they're going to be trying to find pickoffs on the map. Once the BOTs are up in Tinker, you're going to see a lot of rotations down to wherever at least one or two heroes are the only ones being shown. So they'll try to snowball off of that. The Bounty Hunter is good for that as well, but OG closes it out with an Invoker, Mike.
A Resolution Invoker. This is going to be interesting. I mean, it's hard. OG, they're going to go as 5 and they're going to try to make things happen all across the map. But the thing is, you already know Kingdra aren't interested in that. They're gonna delay the game as much as they can with cancel on that Tinker, and then you're gonna see Bambo and Charlie on the Lone Druid and Nature's Prophet. They're just gonna make sure that all lanes are being pushed in. They might even rat a bit. There's a lot of potential from this dire draft. This is gonna be an interesting game to say the least. It does feel like OG need to get a good start. If they allow Kingdra to get too much of a good start, it feels like they're just gonna take over. And they're not going to give any space for OG to be able to do anything in this game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Kingdra's draft is just really tailored to taking those early objectives, taking away map space for OG's cores to farm. And it's definitely on them to start the snowball. Kingdra's draft is definitely much more tight on that timer. I believe once they want Bounty Hunter to hit 6 fast. They want Cancel to grab his BOTs in good time. Make sure Sexy Bambo and that Nature's Prophet gets a good time in the offlane, and that the Lone Druid gets decent farm early on. So it's really on Kingdra to apply that early pressure, make sure their cores are feeling safe. But at the same time, if OG manages to survive the early push, they can snowball back.
Oh, let's see what the... And this should be a good one at the least. This is the first game of the best of 5. So we've got plenty more to go after this, for anyone wondering. But on the side of OG, we do have Fly on that Disruptor. The Invoker will be played by Resolution. The Night Stalker, of course, will be played by Jerax. S4 on that Brewmaster. And finally, we do have Big Daddy No Tail. He'll be on that Juggernaut. And John, if you could please call out Kingdra.
Alright, on Kingdra's side for the Dire, we have Jabs on that Bane. The Lone Druid is being played by Charlie. The Tinker being played by Cancel. The Bounty Hunter being played by Biryu, and the Nature's Prophet being played by Sexy Bambo.
I don't think you spotted it, John, but look at Charlie. He's changed his name to Bulldog TI3. I mean, that's some big shoes to fill if, You're playing Bulldogs TI3 Lone Druid? My god. I'm looking at Sexy Bambo right now. And by the way, if anyone wondering, this player right here, he's changed his name, but it is Bambo. I'm just wondering whether he's going to change it too, but I doubt it. Looks like Charlie just being, maybe getting those positive vibes out there. You know, that, what's that thing called? The way of positive thinking or whatever? Where if you think positively, it'll just happen.
Positive mental attitude, Mike?
I don't know, John. I'm not a positive person. Nothing good happens to me in life. Anyway, moving on. It looks like they will snag a bounty room with the bear. And the laning stage does appear that most will be in the mid lane for the side of Kingdra to take care of cancel, as we already spoke about. In fact, yeah, Buryu and Jabs will be in the mid lane. Or Jabs will just go to the bot. Yep, looks like he's going to go bot with Sexy Bambo for the time being, and rather Buryu will stick around there in the mid lane with his Tinker. He will be up against Resolution, so not the worst lane in the world for a Tinker, but also not the best. It's not going to be easy if you're left alone against the Invoker, but with Buryu here, it should be good enough to deal with. Although here comes Jerax as well to help out. And in that off lane, we do have S4 on that Brew, and again, he's up against Charlie. The one thing about the Brewmaster against the Lone Druid though, John, is, you know, you depend on the Drunken Haze a lot from the Brewmaster to stop the farm of the opposing carry, but the problem is he has a bear, so it's like, which one do you actually put the Drunken Haze on?
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit of a choice to make, although I feel like the target should definitely be the bear for the most part, and it's pretty easy to land at in multiple heroes early on.
See how much he can slow down this Lone Druid's farm. Of course, as we always talk about as well, the Night Stalker, you know, he hasn't got much time to hit that level 2 or 3 mark, but we always mention that if he gets to level 3 before the night, it's just so much more effective than at level 2. Like, of course, he can still make some nice rotations at the level 2 mark, but generally you want that level 3 to be more effective. In fact, Rezo's gonna drop! He did try to Fairy Fire, but cancel going out with the quick rocket laser. And, well, that's going to be a very easy first blood from the side of Kingdra, and a very unexpected one at that.
Yeah, it was rather curious. Resolution caught like 3 hits from the tower, which dropped him so fast. And, you know, he paid for that dive with his life.
But it looked like he may have been able to walk off, and again, it's just Buryu's just there, just right-clicking him and throwing shurikens, and it's just, he's already lost the 3/4 of his HP. And again, nobody's really sticking around with him to try and help him out. I mean, Jerax is here, but as a level 2 Night Stalker during the day, there's only so much you can do. And, I mean, it's not very much, to be fair. So, he'll stick around. Hopefully that won't happen again to Rezo, but you never know. The bot lane, Big Daddy, seems to be having a great time as well in that jug. They didn't actually... In fact, Jabs hasn't leveled up anything quite yet. I was wondering whether he was going to go for the early level and Enfeeble to try and slow down No Tail a bit, but it seems like he's not going for anything. Mid lane though, they're diving Rezo again. The rocket almost takes him out. He does manage to walk off this time. And this time, I mean, Jerax was there, so with him there, it's a bit harder to find the kill. But now Buryu, gonna cop a fair bit of damage. Looks like there'll be no Sunstrike coming out. He is a bit too healthy anyway to get the last hit, but yeah, some good aggression from... I mean, it's weird, right? Like, you would assume that the OG side would be the early aggressors, but that's just not the case right now.
Yeah, they're definitely playing a bit more conservative, just securing farm for their cores, which is, funny enough, also what Kindra's doing. So, you know, that top lane is unpressured. The contested lanes are the mid and bot, and both teams are just kind of maybe drawing even for the most part.
Well, it looks like they will find Jabs. But he'll just walk past and try to annoy Fly a bit. Just farming some neutrals. Mid lane again, Rezo actually might drop. And he does. The laser connects from cancel. And it's as soon as Jerax is gone, they just can't protect this Invoker. Meanwhile, Jab's bot lane, they're going to try and go for a gank. But, well, Sexy Bambo is there. And there's the sleep from Jab. So No Tail could not get the last right click off. Bambo, like, he does have some nice movement speed with those phase boots, and he might be able to find his kill. He wants one more. In fact, no, he doesn't. He does end up getting the kill on the Fly Disruptor. And we sit at a 0-3 at 4 minutes in. Jerax is that it is that nighttime, and it looks like he did go for a gank at the top lane, but nothing really came out of it. And, well, he's going to have to try and make something happen. But so far, it's not looking very good.
Yeah, this is a really good start for Kingdra, but not the start you'd expect coming out of OG. They understand probably that Kingdra's lanes are slightly weaker than theirs, but they haven't been applying too much pressure, although they will pressure Bambo now.
Yeah, well, Bambo, he should end up dropping. In fact, it looks like he's just going to give up and right-click. Jabs, of course, was coming in to try and help out, but while that's going, Rezo is getting dived again, and there's a Sunstrike. Charlie, that pause is not very well timed, but sometimes you can't help it if you are lagging. And Rezo, I doubt he survives this one, but he will make a run for it. The rocket goes through. He will find the return kill, though. And that's a slow motion replay if you ever ask for one. So at the very least, he will find the return, which is honestly somewhat worthwhile for him, considering he's died a couple times now. But still, the fact that they found him 3 times during the first 5 minutes, it's going to be a slow Invoker start for Rezo.
It definitely is. He's a full 2 levels behind the Tinker, so he has some catch-up to play right now.
Catch-up is the case. I do wonder, it looks like he probably will go for the Aquila Drums kind of build, rather than the Midas. I mean, the Midas may help in this catch-up, but it doesn't look like he really wants it. It's not part of the game plan. They will die for no-tell right now. Buryu is there as well, but here comes the spin, and well, Sexy Bambo is copying way too much damage. He will manage to outwalk him. Now Fly. Sunstrike will not connect on Bambo, but they will end up getting the kill, and Fly so low to going down. Jerax, he actually blocks him off a bit, and well, he does end up dropping, but they might find Jabs in return, and well, nice box coming out from this Nature's Prophet. Bambo doesn't look away from the screen when he dies, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember that in your pubs. You don't look away. You make something happen even when you're dead, and Bambo knows it. Bloody fantastic. They find a nice trade again for Kingdra's end. Top lane. Charlie could be in a bit of trouble. The Drunken Haze was there, but he does manage to walk it off. They will find Bambo, who actually TP'd in here. Prophets, the treants do come out. And the split as well. S4, he wants to find this, but the tree actually blocks him in. Now the Sunstrike does not end up connecting. The Glimpse is back though, and Fly will find him. Bambo still trying to juke around here. He gets tracked in that kinetic field and will end up dropping. Lone Druid, Charlie, is in a bit of a spot of trouble right now, but he will be alright. And Cancel? He finds Rezo again in the mid lane. I'm not sure how he's finding Rezo this many times, but it looks like Jerax was there trying to help out and maybe find a return gank. It just didn't work out for them.
Yeah, it's definitely not. And this first night is not looking good for Jerax. He's still at level 3. He only has about 40 seconds left for this nighttime, so it doesn't look like he's going to get too much out of it. And he's definitely far behind for a Night Stalker on that XP.
Yeah, level 3. Not the worst situation in the world, but not the greatest either. He has only found those phase boots at 7.5 minutes in, so it's been a tough night, as we've already mentioned. He is still trying to make something happen though, and he's going to go for Bambo at the bot lane. No-Tell is there with the spin available as well as the Omni, but he was out of position to make that happen, and they will just be happy with just sustaining that farm. Obviously, the thing is with the Juggernaut, he still is a real big problem if he does get the core items he needs. So it looks like they're somewhat confident in just allowing No-Tail to farm. And in fact, they are going to go on Bambo now. The trees come in. Omnislash is still available, but it doesn't mean he's stunned anymore. Now there's a nice rotation coming in from Cancel and Buryu. They will find one kill onto Jerax, but can they find No-Tail? They do get the sleep, and they're going to steal his bounty rune away from him. Oh, Jabs, what a bully. Can they find the kill? No, they cannot. They will just give him one last right click. But, I mean, these ganks, it's still a 4-7. And it's only 1k net worth, but Kingdra are doing very, very well for themselves.
They really are. I mean, take a look at Cancel on this Tinker. He got his BOTs about 8 minutes in. BOTs and Soul Ring at that time. That's incredibly good timing for him. And Resolution's really just not getting anything from this mid lane. He's stuck at level 5. I mean, he's got Jerax coming in every now and again, but it hasn't really paid off yet.
Will be a bit of a fight mid lane, and Cancel again finds Fly. And who else have they got here? It is S4. He does have the split though, and the Sunstrike will not end up connecting on anyone. Looks like he was trying to find Cancel on the Tinker, but he had already BOT'd out. S4 being put straight to sleep, so he couldn't really do anything. And Fly's gonna get caught out again. Oh, the smoke! They do dust up immediately, and Buryu might get caught out of this. They should find an easy kill. But Buryu probably just going to be satisfied with the fact that he just protected Charlie from being smoke ganked up. They are still going to rotate, and he is still around though. So can they kill the bear? Probably not. It does end up getting sent back. And that's one of those strong things about the bounty, right? Like, you're constantly scouting out for your team. And in moments like that, when they're just about to smoke up and you break it immediately, like, it looks bad that Buryu goes down, but it's really great that Charlie just ended up surviving.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, he wastes the smoke. You only have so many smokes in game. And he cops the gank for his core. I mean, that's a fairly decent thing to do. It's not like Buryu's lagging behind anyway. He's getting a nice amount of XP. He's going to probably find his level 6 within the next 2 minutes. So, you know, the track will be up and the ganks will keep flowing in.
Well, it does look like Resolution is going for the Midas build now as well on that Invoker. And you can't really blame him. Like, he needs that catch-up. So he does need a bit of time to just relax, just farm a bit, use that Midas effectively, and get back on top of that net worth if he can. Same goes for No-Tail, of course, but he's doing pretty well for himself. The thing is that Buryu's always around, soaking that XP from the neutral camps that he's taking. And, well, even stealing last hits at times, and they will go for a smoke attempt. Jabs is there, but I don't know if they find a kill. In fact, no, there's a Nature's Prophet, of course. Can they cancel the TP? Of course they can. Now the Fiend's Grip as well, and this is going to be too much damage coming up for No-Tail. He will end up dropping. Very nice rotation. 5 to 9 now. No-Tail. That's his first death of the game, so he's not going to be too upset about that. But Kingdra are going to be extremely happy themselves. And I mean, you look to Charlie. He's got his minus up. He's going straight for their Radiance, and as it goes right now, it looks like it's going to be a pretty quick one at that. Actually, top lane, Cancel in a bit of trouble. S4 making the chase, and Cancel should end up dropping thanks to Rezo Sunstrike. And will he? Oh, he will. Nice little kill from S4, and a very important one at that. Like, that was an unstoppable streak, by the way.
Yeah, you know, Cancel was worth a lot of gold. Maybe he overextended just a bit, but S4 is having a good time in this off lane. Every other lane for OG kind of copped out, but S4 has been having a fairly decent time. He's going to have a pretty good time in his Blink as well, and he has a nice number of levels on him, so they're probably going to have to rely on him to start getting the momentum on.
Well, that Blink is out now. Timing is pretty great, but at the same time, their T1 ended up dropping while all that was going on, so the bot lane now is pretty much gone. They will rotate, it looks like. Who are they going to go for here? Charlie does appear he wants to help out his team a bit, and it will be the T1 mid that will be the target. Of course, probably the most important T1 in the game, being that it does open up a lot more map for your team and allows you to take a bit more control. And with that Spirit Bear, it's not very hard to take it either. And, well, Bamboo comes in as well with those Treants. Can they defend this? I mean, Fly has the Static Storm, but he needs to land a pretty good one. They will go in. S4 is TPing, but I don't believe he has his split, and he doesn't. They will spin in with No-Tail right now, and who are they actually going on? It will be the Bane, and it looks like Jab should end up dropping. Now the Omni comes in, but it is onto Charlie, and he will run away. The Sunstrike does not end up connecting, and they're going to turn this around now. All of OG just trying to back off the Fiend's Grip. It is onto No-Tail. Now the Static Storm, though, it's pretty damn good. The Cyclone goes in as well. Where's the follow-up? S4 goes in with the stomp, but it's not enough. Everyone's walking out with so little HP, and S4 almost drops as well. How the hell does everyone just walk out of there with literally a slither of HP? Literally everyone.
It was a really tight fight, but positioning of both teams was really good. Charlie did cop the Omni Slash, but it's a level 1 Omni Slash. It's 3 slashes, and it's probably not enough to finish him off. Even if it was, he called in his bear, kind of helped tank it. So, and it's a lovely Static Storm coming from Fly, but again, they just managed to run out, and you know, everyone just kind of gets away just fine, almost dying but not quite, which is really all that matters. They do manage to take the T1 down mid, so I guess that's a win for Kingdra. They take that piece of map control away and get a nice little injection of gold going for themselves.
Well, the thing is as well, I mean, they shouldn't be able to team fight like this so early on, but against OG, but they really are like taking these fights quite well. Of course, S4, the split wasn't available before, but now it is. They will cancel the TP coming out from Bambo. Now the Cyclone, but here comes Jabs to help him out. Bambo, can he run out of this? It looks like he just might, because Cancel joins in, and now S4, he will have to back off himself. He will send the Fire Spirit to help out, try to get that kill on Bambo, but it will not be effective. And these are little wins for the side of the Dire. I mean, they're wasting these splits. S4 is trying to do all he can to get these big kills on the map, but he really can't do it himself. Like, they seem way too tanky now. They're way too high a level to just get solo pickoffs or get solo picked off anymore. And it looks like they're going to find No Tail. Buryu will be there, and here comes Cancel. TPing in. Who have they got around them? Fly is there, but the Static Storm, it is available to be used. There's the spin. The track comes in, though, as well. Now the Spirit Bear and the Fiend's Grip has been committed. He's still healing up, but there's the Static Storm. It is onto 2, but it's not quite enough. It will be No Tail going down, as well as Fly. And now Tier 1 has been opened up. Looks like Jerax was trying to come in and help out, but he was a bit late to the party. OG, that's going to be their third T1 going off the map, and Kingdra, they hold all of theirs.
Yeah, this is exactly what Kingdra wants you. Get a couple of pickoffs, get the push going. It's looking bad for OG, definitely. I mean, they are playing behind 5k net worth difference right now. But if they can hold out and just kind of try to stem the tide, maybe not lose a tier 3 by 20 minutes, they definitely have the potential to come back. They just need to buy time for Resolution to get his farm going. And No Tail as well, he's been ganked up way too much.
The question is, though, is Kingdra going to be giving them any time? I mean, they're pushing the tier 2. It's like, how do you defend this when all the marches are going on? And who have they found right now? They've actually found the bounty. So Buryu is down. Nice little pick up from the side of OG, but again, they won't mind trading that for the tier 2. And they've actually found Jerax as well. Can they cancel the TP? No, they cannot. So it is a tier 2 for a kill on the bounty. They do get a nice injection of gold out of that, but definitely not worthwhile. Question is, though, I mean, Rezo, he's got his Midas up. He's using it effectively. He's trying to stay out of team fights and catch up with that farm. Once he gets that Ags, I mean, how much farm will he require to really be able to get online and help his team out, apart from just sunstriking?
I mean, it's not just the farm. He really needs the XP as well. When you see the Invoker, you definitely want him on top of levels, but right now he's falling behind even S4, so he really needs to find some space to just get some levels going for himself after that Agnes comes out.
Well, they are going to go for a tier 1 push, but Cancel immediately there. And the damage that everyone's copying from those rockets, I mean, they just have to back off. They've got the healing ward from No Tail, but I mean, it's used once and then it's gone for a while. They do understand this. They back off immediately, and it seems so important right now that they find the kill onto Cancel. You know, it's just, there's no way the push is happening unless Cancel's dead. And even then, it's still going to be hard, but you're probably going to be able to find a tower out of it. So, I mean, how are you going to find this, though? I mean, he's being so careful. It's almost like you've got to just wait for the nighttime till Jerax has that extended vision, so he can try and find him himself. It looks like they found Buryu at the bot lane. Kinetic Field is there, and this should be a nice kill. Rezo, in fact, will get it with his Sunstrike. So again, a nice little injection of gold into the Invoker. I suppose if they get a few more of these, this could make all the difference. Although here comes Cancel. He's actually going to go for Rezo right now. No, he'll just continue farming, but he's really showing his dominance in this top lane. Like, he's not afraid of TPing onto Rezo, even though, you know, most other heroes aren't showing anymore. S4 has found Charlie. Does go into that bear form, and it looks like S4 will not be interested in trying to make the jump. The Bambo, we haven't talked about him for a while, but he actually picked up that Rod of Atos, as well as the drums and phase boots. So, I mean, the aggression continues, right? Like, with these kind of items, it makes it very clear you're just trying to fight early. You're trying to take towers early, and with the Rod of Atos, it's really going to help against someone like, you know, the S4 Brewmaster, the No Tail Juggernaut as well. Like, they're not really going to be able to go anywhere. It's just going to allow you to right click and take them down immediately.
Yeah, it definitely does. And, you know, even with all of this happening, Charlie just gets to free farm the jungle. He's growing pretty big, and OG still hasn't tried to make a move on him. He's died 0 times, so he's having a fairly good run and starting to build up that farm. That bear is starting to look scary.
And they got the Fiend's Grip as well onto No-Tail, and they're going to be able to take him out. The Radiance, of course, is now available on Charlie's Spirit Bear. The tier 2 will be under attack, and I don't really see them even backing off. Like, this is a very safe tier 2 to take. Cancel's now at 10k net worth lead. He's 3k ahead of No-Tail, who's the biggest on OG. These tracks, of course, really paying off for the side of Kingdra, but it looks like they will actually make a bit of a back. But again, here comes Cancel to try and ward them off a bit, and maybe they'll turn around now after the creeps return. Meanwhile, Bambo, he's forcing that bot push with those treants. Like, they're not giving any space to OG. S4 will come in again, but those track rockets and the march as well. They just leave the Spirit Bear there to right-click the tower. It's almost too easy. Now the treants as well. They do glimpse one back, and it is actually Charlie, but he's already in bear form. Nice static storm, though. They actually caught the Bane as well. A lot of damage being dealt. Charlie, he gets out, and Jerax is about to drop the Omnislash. Did it even get anyone? It didn't. Jerax is gone. Now the spin actually does find one. They get Charlie, and that's a massive kill. And they'll find another in the Bounty Hunter. Looks like Sexy Bamboo just got to try and back off safely now. S4 trying to find him. Meanwhile, Jab's been left alone, although Cancel returns, and they're going to go after No-Tail. Will they be able to deal the damage? Not while he's in that spin form, but that definitely was a bit of a win for the side of OG. They end up losing their tier 2, which is not good news. But to win that team fight, which really looked bad for them, they get a nice bit of gold and a nice bit of XP as well. Yeah, they definitely get a bit more from that. Granted, they've actually lost both of their tier 2s, so pretty rough time for them. That's all their outer towers, whereas Kingdra still has all of their outer towers. So the map control is definitely favoring Kingdra right now, and they can do a lot with their heroes with all that added map control to their side. I mean, let's not forget, right? Like, Rezo has not been involved at all in these team fights. They've been giving him space to farm. So there has been Sunstrike, sure, but that presence from the Invoker isn't really there quite yet. When it is, we might see OG being able to really pull this back. Although top lane, actually, Bambo, he's been caught out a bit. No-Tail, he gets rooted in place. He does not have an Omnislash available. So it is up to Jerax, and a nice little fly right there. They will be able to... No, they will not be able to cancel it. I thought the Void was available, but it may have just been on cooldown until that last millisecond. And Cancel ends up buying Fly at the bot lane. I mean, I really thought that Void was off cooldown, but it may have literally been a millisecond before it was off. Yeah, I mean, that's really unfortunate. Cancel is really the high-value target that they need to take out, and he's had so much space to get so much done in this game. I'm really surprised that OG didn't try to pressure him more when, you know, throw more of their supports in rather than just Jerax, but looks like they just kind of had different priorities in the laning phase. That's fair enough. Still, the net worth is 9k the way of Kingdra. It is still a 10 to 15 as well their way. Of course, a lot of that net worth coming from the tracks of Buryu, who is at the level 10 mark now. Look to cancel, and he actually went for a 4-staff. It's not something you see every day on a Tinker, but it can make a bit of sense. Yeah, I mean, the added mobility is pretty nice, I suppose. It helps him escape if he can't get his blink going. So it's just to make sure he can get out of sticky situations. It does make sense in that aspect. And look, they'll find Bambo at the top lane again. Jerax, he's doing real God's work right now. Although, the problem is Cancel's here. And when Cancel TP's in, I mean, it's just not safe to try and take that kill. Buryu again scouting out the side of OG. And he will actually go on to Fly right now, but there's a lot of heroes around, and he might just drop. They do put S4 to sleep, but the Omnislash is committed, and now they found Cancel as well. What a beautiful bounce for No-Tail, and Cancel, the Sunstrike connects, and it will take him out. A massive mistake coming out from the Bounty Hunter. They have actually rooted up No-Tail, but now Bambo might be in trouble. The bear is here, it will fear them away, but Jerax, he gets the cancellation on the TP, and now Bambo silenced up, there's nowhere to go, and he'll drop. OG just find 3 kills for literally no reason.
Yeah, just rather curious. They tried to save Biryu with a Force Staff, cancel Force Staff Biryu, but all that did was make sure that No Tail could get the jump on him, that Omni Slash, and that really cost him.
Ooh, it's one of those little mistakes you make, and now you look to OG, they just got about 3k net worth. They're taking the Roshan as well. You look to Rezo, he's got the Aghanim Scepter, he's almost got the Boots of Travel, and you cannot give those kind of gifts away to the side of OG. They really do capitalize on these. So we'll see what if Kingdra can, you know, bring it back their way and just slow down a bit. Again, Biryu will end up finding S4. But a nice bit of game sense coming out from the Brewmaster, and he does blink out immediately. In fact, what is he? Is that a Lotus Orb he's going for? It looks like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, Lotus Orb should help out, especially in purging a lot of the single target control Kingdra has, particularly maybe clearing out those tracks. So it's going to be very helpful to clear the Nightmare in the track. So it's a nice little pickup for S4.
They are going to try and push this tier 1 tower. It looks like the side of Kingdra, though, they will go for the same, but the bot tier 3 instead, and apply some pressure there. Have they found anyone? They're looking for Biryu, and now Cancel shows himself. And again, these rockets making it really hard to push in with those marches. And they will go back to the bot lane instead and try and defend. In fact, it's only Jerax there right now, but the rest of the team realizing they cannot take a tier 1 while Cancel's around. It almost just seems impossible right now to be able to grab it.
Yeah, it's a really tall ask, and the Tinker just lays out so much damage, and you know, Cancel's just almost had free reign in this game to just lay out a lot of damage. He hasn't been punched as much, although
Well, they're going to find the Fiend's Grip onto S4, and if they kill him off before this fight starts, it could be great, but there's the Omni. Jabs is going to be gone. Now the Silence as well to S4, but he's not dying. The Static Storm, it is onto Charlie. He's got nowhere to go. He will TP out. Can they cancel? It looks like they can, and they'll take him out. Excuse me. Charlie will end up dropping Biryu. Will back off as well. Bambo was there, but again, John, Kingdra not taking the fights that are really working out for them, although Rezo is a big one to get if they can find it, and they will. The Resolution will end up dropping now. Fly will be the next target, and they'll find him as well. A 2 for 2. I mean, it looked just fantastic for OG, but they give those last couple kills away. Somehow Kingdra evened the scoreboard out again a bit.
yeah, I mean, it was a fairly good fight for OG right until they dropped Resolution. He did have to expend Aegis early on as well, so he didn't have that second life ready when Cancel was jumping in. He was playing chase with Cancel for a while in that bot lane. Cancel managing to narrowly dodge that tornado, which bought enough time, I suppose, for fight to... I mean, it probably changed up the fight when they were taking out Charlie, but yeah.
At the very least, you got to be glad, right? Like, this game is getting very, very even. It really looks like it can go either team's way right now. No tell. Again, they're going to find Biryu. The Sentry Ward was there, and well, they're going to try and find Jerax as well. Bambo is there. The Meteor Hammer comes out. And who's that from? It was from Jerax. Meanwhile, the spin from No Tail, and he'll just escape. So they get Jerax down. And will they go for a tier 3 push? I mean, it might be slightly early. Like, there's still 4 heroes from the side of OG, and they've only lost their position 4. So I don't think this is the right time. Although bot lane, they found Rezo again. The silence is there, and Cancel. He'll find himself a nice kill with Bambo. And this now may open up the tier 3s, and it looks like Charlie understands this. He'll go straight in. Blind No Tail will be there to try and defend this the best they can, but it's not going to be easy. Here comes Cancel with the rockets. Bouncing laser as well now that he has the Aghanim Scepter. Without resolution there, do Kingdra still feel safe enough? Bambo will go to the bot lane and start split pushing. He wants to apply pressure on all ends, although there are heroes around. It looks like Jerax wants to have a go at Bambo. And they are slowing down this push. Like, the Drunken Haze is doing enough work on this Spirit Prayer. Now they've actually found Bambo, and they will get the Meteor Hammer off just in time, but Cancel's here. Bambo, can he walk this one off? It looks like he just might, because Cancel's making it really hard, but there's the Omni. No Tail, he's going to find a massive kill, and now Bambo still not out of the woods quite yet. Can they find him? The Sunstrike Rezo, he's on point, he'll find him. Oh my. So Kingdra, they do not find the tier 3 tower at the top lane. And as well as that, they lose 2 big heroes. And it looks like OG again, they're going to try and find a tier 1 for themselves. And mind you, they haven't found one quite yet, but Jerax is there. In fact, the Meteor Hammer does get cancelled, but now they found Buryu fly. He gets the glimpse off, the dust is there as well, and Buryu should just drop, and he will. So the first tier 1 tower of the game for OG will finally go down at the 28-minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, OG's holding out really well. As I mentioned from the draft phase, they were going to have a rough early game if they didn't shut down the course of Kingdra, but if they held out up till 25 to 30 minutes, which they are, they really do have the potential to swing back, and they've been swinging back quite nicely, Mike.
They almost find the kill onto Jabs as well on that Bane, but fortunately the Meteor Hammer did end up missing from Jerax, just barely. But the tier 2 now under attack, and again, without cancel there, they just try to get the most that they can out of this map. And they will do so. The tier 2 drops. They even rotate to the bot lane on the side of OG to try to take another tier 1. And in fact, Jerax just might find cancel again. Although an immediate TP, and Jerax, oh, the Sunstrike. It was on point, but it wasn't quick enough to give that vision for the cancellation on the Void. And the tier 1 will rather be under attack now. One thing we forgot to mention, John, that Alacrity really makes it quite easy for N0tail to take towers down, as well as deal a hell of a lot of damage.
Yeah, it really does. It's one of the key things about Invoker, just buffing up your core to right-click like crazy, and it's working out well. N0tail hits like a truck whenever he has that buff up.
Well, we do see Kingdra, they actually smoke up, and they're running towards the top lane, although the Spirit Bear has been left at the bot lane, and it looks like OG is just going to have free pickings on this. They will continue chasing, and they will find it, so 300 gold. I'm not sure who that went to, but I believe it was Resolution that got that gold as well. And Buryu, he has been spotted. Do they have the detection? It doesn't look like there's a gem available quite yet. They won't be able to find Buryu. But still, the net worth is now pretty much even. Only a 1k net worth lead for Kingdra. Not very great news for them. And now Charlie's been caught out. There's a split from S4. They've got the stun. Charlie, well, actually no. It is cancel that's coming in, I meant to say. Charlie got some help now. Bambo will try to tree them up, and they're still chasing. The Omni comes in. Now the glimpse as well. Who they found? It is on Charlie. The Static Storm. It does connect. Now the Chaos Meteor, and he's gone. Meanwhile, Cancel still alive through all this. They could not find the Cyclone in time. It looks like Jabs will end up dropping. In fact, not quite yet. But they'll turn around and get him. 2 again go down on the side of Kingdra. Cancel immediately trying to push the top lane to not allow any momentum there. But it looks like N0tail does end up finding the tier 1 and will back off and try to defend his tier 3 and farm a bit more. But the net worth has switched now. It's in OG's way, and they're looking very powerful. The kill score is 20 as well at 31 minutes. You wouldn't believe this. You wouldn't believe this if you saw the game 10 minutes ago, John.
Yeah, it definitely didn't look that way for OG. They were having a really rough laning phase. Resolution just copped all the ganks. He was like completely behind, not just in gold, but the XP difference was so huge for him. He couldn't really afford to be in this fight. So OG was just playing 4v5 for a very long time, but they managed to stave off the push. They haven't lost a T3 yet, and with Kingra's lineup, they definitely want one of those big objectives down by this point, but OG's been holding out really well.
Looks like Bambo, he did end up finding Jerax, but there was no stun available to cancel the TP. Meanwhile, Buryu is going to find S4, but where's the help that he needs? Bambo will TP in. Lotus Orb is up, and well, he traps himself in the trees, and now this was a bit of a bait coming up from S4. EMP, Chaos Meteor as well, and Bambo, he's going to end up dropping. The sleep was there to help him out, but it's not quite enough, and now S4, he's looking for more. He's going to go straight after Jabs. N0tail finds him. They'll take out the support Bane as well. And this could be a tier 3 push now coming out from the side of OG.
Yeah, they could definitely use that time, but it's still an uphill push against Tinkerer.
Well, it looks like they did try to go for Charlie, although Charlie does end up TPing out successfully. So they are applying pressure through the mid lane. But again, with the Tinker, they will have to back off. It's a bit unfortunate for OG, right? Because the tier 2 towers that are available on the map, there was no real creeps around them, so they couldn't really get those tower pickoffs either. does look like Resolution's being stalked right now by Buryu, and here comes Cancel. But Cancel not really in range to help out. Buryu just going to keep eyes on him. Will be a bit of a rotation coming out from Charlie. And Bambo, he's going for the back door, and this is nice. The creeps work close enough at the top lane that he can do this. And actually, there's going to be Cancel TPing in. I mean, this is rat as it gets. There will be TPs from S4, but this T3 tower might just end up dropping. The Treant's doing a fair bit of damage, as well as those Necro units. And I mean, it's been a while since we've seen this much rat coming out. But Bamboo likes to show it, and it does work quite well.
This is definitely what Kingdra needs to do. They really want to take these objectives out, but they've kind of missed their timing, and they're starting to swing it back to OG's way. So they definitely need to start clearing out a few more objectives before it swings completely in OG's favor. Well, once they get some lane pressure going with maybe a set of racks, they can definitely do a lot more, because OG's attention will have to be divided once the set of racks is gone.
Yeah, and I mean, to make matters worse, right, we mentioned in the draft screen, but the Aghanim Scepter is up on the Lone Druid, so he's going to split push with that bear. Roshan is being taken, but Buryu is in the pit. And this is going to give, well, he's either going to go for a steal, or he's either going to go for a team fight with this team, but it looks like the side of OG are a bit unsure about this. Buryu, he went for the cancellation on the TP, but was unsuccessful. And actually, Resolution finds a kill onto Cancel solo. Now, though, Bambo is there, but again, he cannot cancel the TP from Rezo. I'm not 100% sure how he got the kill onto the Tinker, but he does find it, so well played to him.
Yeah, this is not where you want your Tinker to be. Normally, when you see a Tinker in the game, he's almost always just top of net worth, because he's clearing out all the waves, soaking up all the map, gold, all the creeps fall to him, but he's fallen behind to No-Tail now, and No-Tail's just made such a lovely recovery in this game.
Well, No-Tail, I have Scotty, he's got a Nullifier on the way soon, just needs a bit more gold, and it is like you mentioned, the comeback is real right now. S4 picks up the Aegis for himself, and you can't blame him, right? Like, the amount of silences that are coming out of Kingdra, they are focusing him before he can actually get the split off. With that Aegis, it does give him a second chance. They might even find the Spirit Bear, though, and Charlie almost a bit oh, no, nice sleep coming out from Jabs. They could not find that final right click. And, of course, the Tornado did end up missing from Rezo. So a bit unfortunate for the side of OG, because that would have been a nice pick-off, and it would have actually meant no bear for another 15 seconds. But luckily for Charlie, he gets it out. But OG, they are on the aggressive now. They're not looking to hide and farm anymore. They're looking to take team fights and, you know, trying to push out of racks. And it looks like Kingdra, understanding how powerful the team fight has gotten from the side of OG, they're only interested in trying to wrap these towers down with the Spirit Bearer as well as the Treants and Necros.
Yeah, and that's really the weakness of Kingdra's draft. They really can't take these 5v5 team fights, and they've lost their significant net worth lead, so that weakness is amplified even more. And all they can really do now is try to distract OG with a team fight, force their attention to one lane, and split push in another. So I feel that's what we're going to see from Kingdra for the next few minutes.
See if they can continue to pull this off. I mean, OG, they've got to know, like, there's got to be a way for them to try and fix this, and No-Tail gonna actually find Charlie. Jabs is there, though. He has the Fiend's Grip available. Who will he go on? He's actually not going to go on anyone, because he's gone. Now the Omnislash is there as well. Charlie, he's losing too much HP. The Deafening Blast from Rezo as well. They're going to lose Bambo. Now they will continue on the bear. Buryu can't really do anything to help out, and Charlie, he's going to die here, it looks like. They take down the bear first, and then they take down Charlie on the side, on the Lone Druid, and now Buryu will be the last one, and they'll take him as well. Cancel has to be so careful not to get jumped, but he's just lost his whole team. Glimpse, is it going to be there? It doesn't. He's actually going to man fight this with all the spells coming out, and he blinks out somehow. Cancel Dota, absolutely understanding how far he can take this hero, but I think this might be the point where Kingdra do end up losing a Rax.
Yeah, definitely looks like that. And even though it's a Tinker, there's only so much you can do against 4 heavily farmed heroes, so he's gonna have a rough time just trying to hold this by himself. And it's rather unfortunate that none of the cores on Kindra's side have buyback, so they're gonna have to give away, looks like, a set of racks at the very least, maybe 2 even.
Things are gonna be very scary for Cancel right now. He's playing with fire. They will find 2 melee, 1 range racks, and they'll leave the other range in the mid alone. The backdoor protection did kick in, so they really had no choice. But it is rather surprising, like Kingdra, like you mentioned, the buybacks were not available. And I mean, at this kind of like at the 35-36 minute mark, you've got to start having those buybacks to be ready, because you could see OG, they were ready to team fight for the past 10 minutes or so, and Kingdra were trying to avoid them the whole time. I mean, assuming they got picked off like they did, that's a guaranteed racks, and that was 2. So I'm not sure what the reason behind that was. And to make matters worse, unless in fact, no, never mind. I thought the Spirit Bear was completely gone, but he did have it available to respawn. Just has to be careful not to give it away a second time.
Yeah, that's the issue with Lone Druid as well. If you go for the bear build, you're heavily dependent on making sure that when it dies, you have that cooldown off, and each time it dies without that cooldown off...
Oh, top lane, John, top lane. They found the Tinker. The Nullify pays off. No tail. And now who else have they found? They found the Spirit Bear. Will TP away, it looks like, but they found Buryu as well. So at least they get the bear out for the side of Kingdra, but Buryu is pretty much gone. And now you start to ask the question, how far is OG willing to go at this point? And it looks like they've drawn the line. And that line is straight to the Ancient, to be fair. So they might just go for the tier 4s. I mean, the tier 2 tower at the bot lane is still available. Without cancel on that Tinker, and again, no buyback on him. This is going to be, this could just be GG. In fact, it does look like it is. I mean, can they defend this? They are going to go with the smoke. Charlie going to try his best with that bear. Well, the S4 is ready. He's got the split available. Now the Ancient is under attack. The Cyclone is there and they know it. It's GG, well played. And they may just... I mean, it's almost like the one mistake you're not meant to make, but no buybacks available on the side of Kingdra. And OG literally stole this game at the 40-minute mark.